Good morning, Jessica here from All the Sparkle. Today I am really excited to be helping my friend Catherine Pooler with the release of her brand new venture, the Stamp of Approval box. This isn't a monthly kit, it's a quarterly collection of supplies that Catherine has had a hand in designing and selecting to help you create some amazing cards. There are stamp sets and dies and stencils and background stamps and all kinds of fun accessories like sequins. The kit is amazing. Everything in there is so much fun, and I know you'll be able to come up with tons of ways to use them. So for today, I'm going to show you a card using one of the stamp sets that was designed by Casual Friday Stamps with Catherine in mind, and a stencil from Winnie and Walter. So let's get started. To start off, I'm going to take a piece of watercolor paper. This is larger than what my eventual card base will be, but I like to use a little bit larger base because then I can trim it down later. I'm going to go ahead and use some Post-it tape to tape it to my work surface so it doesn't move. We're going to be applying quite a bit of water, and I don't want it shifting around as we're working. And then this stencil from Winnie and Walter is part of the kit. I'm going to go ahead and place this on top of my watercolor paper. I like to kind of put it in an angle. Okay, so I'm going to be using 3 color burst powders. These are highly pigmented powders that react with water. You can either apply them to a wet piece of paper, or you can apply them dry and then spritz them with water. I prefer to do that method. I feel like I have a lot more control over the color when it's dry. Okay, next I'm taking a spritzer bottle with water. You can use Perfect Pearls, you can use a shimmer mist, shimmer spray. For this card, there's so much going on with the color, I'm just going to go ahead and use water. You want to spritz carefully because as you spritz, you can see the powder moving kind of across my paper, and it's very easy to get this all over your work surface if you're not careful. Okay. So you can see how the powder is moving. It's reacting with that water and causing that beautiful blend. I'm actually going to add several layers of color. So what I want to do is take a paper towel, fold it in half, and while this is nice and wet, and actually I'm going to apply a little bit more water to really get that moving. While that's still wet, I'm going to go ahead and dab off most of that color and then add a little bit more powder and more water. Okay, the next step is to go ahead and let this dry. You can dry it with a heat tool, but sometimes I feel like that warps the paper so much that you may have water that's still moving, and it would cause the water to run under your stencil and kind of mess up that pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and let that dry, and I'll be back. I've die cut my panel to 4 by 5 1/4. I went ahead and lined it up in the corner of my MISTI, used one of these templates to cover my actual card base so it would be protected. Then I lined up my sentiment, and I'm using the words "Love ya no matter what." I lined those up on top of my template, then pressed the MISTI lid down to get the sentiment to stick to my MISTI. Then all I have to do is remove this template, put the magnets back down to hold my card, and I'm going to go ahead just to make sure that none of my embossing powder sticks to the card. I'm going to use my powder tool. And then I'm going to ink up my sentiment in VersaFine Onyx Black ink. Okay, much better. So now we'll take this off. Move that out of the way. I'm going to heat emboss this in clear powder. So there is my embossed sentiment. I like a little bit of shine that the clear embossing powder gives it. My next step is to just adhere this to the card base. I'm using a black A2 card base that I've scored. Press that down firmly, and there's my card. The last thing I'm going to do is adhere a couple sequins to the front just for a little extra color. And we've got, again, this fun mix. I just put this into a little bowl so it'd be easier for me to see and pick what I wanted to work with. Now, since my card's kind of moving here, I'm going to go ahead and open it just so that it lies flat. And there you have my completed cards. I apologize for the creative editing. We actually were dog sitting my in-laws' dog, and we had a landscaper in the backyard, and the combination led to a lot of barking, so I had to selectively choose what I wanted to mute for the video. So hope you enjoy it. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.